Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Welcome to another E-Institute webinar. Today we have the second webinar of the Inclusive Cities series, which covers topics revolving around the complex problem of slums, urban poverty, and social exclusion. The Inclusive Cities series aims to disseminate lessons from international experience on upgrading formal settlements, largely drawing from the recent initiative between the World Bank Institute, Cities Alliance, UN Habitat, GIZ, and the Inter-American Development Bank on documenting and analyzing lessons from national policies and programs in 12 countries to better understand what worked, what did not, and why, in terms of scaling up social housing and slum upgrading policies. As a follow-up to the first webinar held in May, when we featured the case of Brazil, today we will be able to explore the experience of Thailand, which has emerged as one of the most successful community-driven practices on addressing informal settlements. We are very lucky to have with us Somsook Boonyabancha, Secretary General of the Asian Coalition for Housing Rights. Let me briefly introduce her. Somsook is an architect with more than 30 years of extensive work on urban poor housing development and slum upgrading in Thailand and around Asia. She is a former director of the Community Organizations Development Institute, known as CODI, where she implemented the Citywide community upgrading program using new community finance and revolving fund mechanism in almost 300 cities in Thailand. Somsook will be going through Thailand's community-driven approach on housing and slum upgrading. She'll be covering the Baan Mankong program, which has been implemented for more than 10 years, enabling communities to work in close collaboration with different stakeholders to improve security of tenure, infrastructure, housing, finance, and livelihoods. Somsook has been the forefront of creation and implementation of this program in Thailand and is currently involved on the replication of the experience in other Asian countries. Without further delay, let me request Somsook to begin her presentation. Please, Somsook.
Hi everyone. Thanks very much, Andre, for your very kind introduction. And first of all, I also would like to thank the World Bank Institute for this invitation, for give us the opportunity to share with you this very, very important experience of the citywide upgrading, in which we have been working in Thailand and in Asia. I would like to share with you two important experience of the citywide upgrading. The one we implement in Thailand, and another one in Asia under the ACCA program. Well, just quickly to this chart, it tells the problems, and many of the problems in different color, different box here show the problem from the conventional top-down housing approach. And it seems that we are sort of rambling around the bush, unable to solve the problem, because most of the problem are the problem that the other people think for the poor. We never let the poor to take part. How can we find a way that poor people are able to involve in the solutions as much as possible? So we may have to think the other way around. Try the bottom-up approach. Try the other way around, because the world has changed. And the poor people at the big scale can be an important actor for the changing world today. They are ready to take part, to change their life. But what are the space, what are the tools, what are the new ways that would support this big change? There are four key points which I like to share with you, and it applies for the Thai case and the regional case. One is active demand driven. So let the people in big scale be the key actor and initiator as much as possible and get together, do the work. Second is citywide. Do it citywide, not project approach. Not one project here, one project there, but the whole city, and see how the system it go together. Find a new finance system to support. Today there is no finance for the poor. It's the system of finance that makes people poor. So we need to think of the new finance which is more friendly and linking the finance of the people to the city development fund and make the system of solution work by the people as much as possible. The fourth point is that we should not think too much in sectoral, like housing and houses only, but develop the housing in such a way that it allows a broader possible development approach, social, economic, healthy, rights, and so on. So it goes together. So we change poverty in one blow as much as possible. Now I will look into the Thai experience. In 2004, the Thai government have this national policy in which we propose for the citywide upgrading. And we have the Community Organization Development Institute, or CODI, which is a public organization under the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security. It's a sort of a little more independent institution, allowing a lot of participation. And what CODI have is the Community Development Fund, to pass the fund for the community organization and let as many community in rural, in urban organize and solve their problem by themselves as much as possible. So this is the way to solve. Pass the fund to them, let them organize, and let them work out. This is the way of a diagram showing how the citywide upgrading start. You start from the community, you link with the city, you link with the other development actor, you make a survey, and then you see where are the slums and so on, and what are the conditions and how to solve it together. And then what are the possible solutions. And the solution can be diverse. On-site upgrading, land sharing, reblocking, and so on. So the whole city could work together as a team where the people themselves are the one who become the active actors as much as possible. So this picture will show you one of the district in Samut Prakan, the province in Thailand, where the community are working with the city. In the citywide survey, in which they survey all the slum, they check who are the landowner, where are the vacant area, and then how to find the solutions. The red spot are the community where they have started the solution of upgrading and rehousing. When we say community survey and mapping, it means there are different things that we have to do. Community survey to see the information about the settlement profile. You have the mapping where you put everybody in the map. You have the household survey in which we get everybody, all the poor, into the legislation system, we can say, or in the picture. And then we have also the city-wide land supply survey to see who own what land, what are the possible existing land, what are the new land, and how can we negotiate and get this land into the possible upgrading by the people as much as possible, and then plan for the upgrading possibility. It's that simple. And this is the picture showing how the participatory planning is about. So the architect, the professional, the university can work with the community in this new adjustment for the new community. When we say planning, it's not only the physical planning, it also means a planning of the system, the social system, the economic system, the new management system. So upgrading doesn't mean only physical. It means the adjustment of many other systems at the same time. So, but the participatory planning is a very, very important process. Then come the saving. Community saving is a very important process to start the system of funding from the household to the system of community to the city and to the other. So the key issue is how to make the finance system of the people work because poor people don't have finance to initiate the whatever development, any possible housing development. So saving is a way to start, and any poor people can be a part of the saving system. Yeah? And we prove that it works everywhere. From the community saving, community fund, we link it into a city development fund. Suddenly the fund would allow a lot of new possibility upgrading in the people. This picture will show you how the CODI system works. So CODI fund pass to the community organization as a wholesale loans or grants. You go to the community, and the community manage themselves all the improvement or development. They may divide into subgroup, and the subgroup take care of their cluster. Some group have small cluster, some community have big cluster. So it depends on how the community would decide that. Yeah. This is the kind of example project where people get together and negotiate with the landlord, and they purchase the existing slum land, yeah? And they reblock it, and they move their house and so on. So you can see the picture of the slum on the left hand side before and after. You see a lot of change within the period of 1 year, from the poor, dilapidated situation into a decent housing, decent community with a lot of system. This is also another community where they demolish the former slum on the right hand side, and they reconstruct the whole thing into a housing on the left hand side. You can see it's a big change. But it's not only a physical change, huh? The whole system inside also been changed. This is another community where people who face eviction on the left hand side get together, and from the land survey they have done, they found the land, and they come together and they rebuild the community in that land. So from the scatter group, you can build a good organized community with a secure rights, huh? Like on the right hand side. But this is our famous project where the former squatter in the canal, about 6 kilometers long, block by block, they organize and they reconstruct it into a housing condition like you have seen. This is possible, huh? And many of the countries have this problem. We just want to assure you that this is possible if we let the people do it. And not only housing, you can see that there has been environment program. They have the canal cleanup, they have the treatment, they have the welfare activity, they have the youth activity. So upgrading itself will lead into all this development and adjustment. Huh? Suddenly it becomes a very decent, good community with a lot of system. The way in which community come and work together, build together, is also the way to build a new community. And if they build together like this, the construction cost will be just half of the actual market construction cost. So this is why the poor can get a very good quality housing, double price, if they work together. So it has a really very good effect on that. This diagram shows how in the upgrading community network who link together as a network could link many other organizations to work with them, like the landlord, the district department, and many other. And many departments in the district also link to the needs of the people. So it's using the upgrading to build all this relationship with so many organizations in the city. This picture shows the kind of upgrading event in one of the city in Thailand, where you use the upgrading to make it a very important process in all the city. The governor, the mayor, the MOU signing, the march, and so on. It's all making upgrading become something important and not a minor activity. Huh? This slide shows you the performance of this community-driven upgrading, which is cover 71 provinces out of 77 provinces in Thailand, 286 cities. The city is up and down, no? But it's about this figure. Total project is about 850 and cover about 1,660 communities, benefit about 90,000 families. And the loan size average is just about 5,000 US dollar. But people who don't have money can also access to the subsidy for housing construction. I will not go into the details of that. What is important is the last point, that the total loan grant from CODI revolving fund we provide the loan at 3% interest. The people may add 2%, so the people pay around 5% or so. And we can get the repayment at 97%, 0.5, yeah? And it's always at this figure. This is to show that the housing of the poor, if they do it by themselves in an organized way, repayment is not a problem. So it's a feasible thing to do, yeah? And when people develop housing, what we get, we have collective land, we have new community where people live together, they have a saving and fund or something like, they have their own bank to support income generation, welfare, and many other. They have welfare activity, they take care of the children, they take care of the elderly people, they link into a network, they have collective management, and they become active citizens for the city. So these are the upgrading we are talking about, and if we do it properly, we can get all that. And what I'm trying to say in the last slide here for the case of Thailand is that urban poor housing development is an investment. It's not a social expense only, yeah. When we, in our case, when you put all the investment together, government subsidy, loan, people repayment, and other contributions, say, total investment is about 7,500 or 8,000 US dollar per unit. Suddenly, after you build it, the price of this housing is double or triple. Yeah, so the poor will suddenly get the asset. They will have the asset of about 15,000 at least, huh? And you have the legitimacy. You become a proper citizen with legitimacy, security. You have healthy environment. You have community asset, with welfare, with better social cohesion, and so on. You have political asset because you have active citizen. So this is the kind of investment that we get all these key points. Yeah, that is the case of Thailand. And not only Thailand. People say, oh, Thailand is different, so you can do that. No, it's not true. We moved to Asia. In Asia now, up to now, we implement this ACCA program, which is Asian Coalition for Community Action. It's the same citywide upgrading. We implement since 2009, no? And now it covers about, I think it's more than 165, it's about 175 already, yeah? And this is roughly the picture. So it's now, we're going broad, no? To all these cities. And if we have more money, I'm sure this system will take over Asia very soon. Because it's the truth that citywide upgrading by the people can go very quickly and possible. In our process in Asia, because other countries haven't developed this kind of community fund, so they have we provide the support per city is only about 58,000 or 60,000 US dollar. Yeah, and this divide into different categories for small projects. So any community who have the need can start the small upgrading project right away. So you have many communities doing something to fix their problems together at the same time. And we have a support for one housing project, which will go to the city development fund to give the loan to this project. And we have a small coordination of 3,000. And in this process, people have to start the survey to understand how the citywide and so on are working. And these are just the provision for one city. So this is the picture. We will try to elaborate how it works. Every city always start with this kind of survey. So you get the poor into the citywide understanding of where are their friends living in what situations and so on what land, what infrastructures and so on, and how to fix the problem, and where are the land and how can we deal with the land. This is the picture from one of the city in Fiji, in Lotuka. They make the map of all the survey, and so you can make a map, and each of the community can start thinking of the solution. Actually, we have another map where we have all the solution of the upgrading in each of the community look like. For the small project now that has been implemented in 5 to 10 community in any given cities, this is the picture. The key issue is not to provide infrastructure, but we use also infrastructure to get the people to work together, get the community to link as a network, get the community to link with the city authorities and so on. So you use action to boost all this movement, to wake them up into an active mode, a proactive mode. the citywide small upgrading activities, some of the picture, yeah. And not only the small upgrading, the key issue for the poor is always land and housing. So after the small upgrading, then come the question of land and the security of tenure and how we can start the housing activities. So they would have to check how they can start the pilot projects, where, how, and so on, and how they will put the fund together and how the fund will give the loan to the first project. So this whole support is to let the people to exercise and to have this experience of how this kind of system linking everybody and the city fund are working. And this is the experience. I just want to give the experience of a few countries. In Nepal, they have the citywide upgrading in 9 cities. In these 9 cities, they have 63 communities involved in the process and 89 small projects, 175 houses have been constructed. In Vietnam, about 16 cities, and they have more than 100 small projects in more than 100 cities. And they have the city development fund in 10 cities, and still on the way. Yeah, you can see this kind of upgrading on the left-hand side, the lower picture. That is the project that in Win City they already upgrade or construct. You can say it changed from the social housing on the right-hand side, dilapidated, facing evictions, and so on. So they come together, and you can see the process at those picture up there. They get together. The architect help them to see how the possible housing, how the possible cluster will be worked out. Then we have the case like in Cambodia, in 18 cities where people are getting together in the same way. I will just go to the process, which is very interesting in the case of Cambodia. It's similar in many countries. You see this diagram, which is a diagram of the network, 5 regional networks. Each regional network link each city together, and each city, each province link with the cities and the community network together. So this is the picture of the whole country, where the community at the small level link with the city level, link the provincial level, and link at the regional level. And each of the regional level, they also link together, yeah, into a national level. So it means that from the kind of small project support, it could become a kind of a system of the poor people, from small to big like this. If we understand this and we provide a proper support into this system, the big change by the people can be possible, definitely. Here is the picture of the community planning in Cambodia, where after they identify the community, check the land, they start negotiate, and especially the community facing eviction, they involved in this search. And you can see the example like this one from the picture of the community facing eviction. They rebuild the new community. This is in Kampong Cham in Cambodia, and several other cities are the same. This is the same thing. In the case of Cyclone Nagris in Myanmar, we apply the same concept. Instead of the organization build things for the people, we just find the way that the affected communities and people get together and rebuild their communities. We found that with small amount of money, they can build a big number of houses. And not only the houses, the whole process moved to many other things, saving, rice bank, library, livelihood program, and so on. So it moved on. It's ignite the community. Now they say they cannot stop. Then the process is moved to Yangon. The community linked together to see a lot more eviction problems happen in the capital city. So the people get together in the saving activities and search for the possible land. And now they already developed 3 housing projects in a period of 1 to 2 years only. This is the picture of Afghanistan. I don't want to show Afghanistan in particular, but it's just to show this picture that the way that we have the Citywide allow the new development platform, which make a political space for the people to come together, to talk together, and be able to talk to the relevant organization. And because we have a lot of activity, the activity allow them the space to link, to get together with the government organization. You see the picture of women as inaugurator. You see the inauguration, you see the meetings and so on. So this kind of activity allows so many space for the poor to get linked, to know each other, to understand the things and so on, and to give the result, which is quicker and bigger than the normal one. Also, this is the picture of the young architects, young professionals in Cambodia. It happened in more than 12 countries now, where the activities make it possible for the community to link with the universities, link with the professional, bring them in, and the link build them the new relationship and give them more space of knowledge. This kind of community architect now have the network in Asia and very active to help each other in the mapping, in the community participatory planning, in the city development process, and so on. Then this is the picture of the result. After all the activities and so on, then you come into a new politics of cooperation and building local partnership, governance, new governance between community and the cities. It's only this kind of proactive platform happen that the system of the poor can be addressed. And the poor sit with the different local development actors and propose their problems and get attention, and they also be a very important participatory force to do many other city development work. So this is a change in the relationship, political relationship between the poor and the city, which is quite important. Because of the development which happened in many countries, in many cities in the same countries, it's a big learning space. It's a big sharing among the people. So it's a system of the horizontal learning and sharing and movement against the vertical, which is the conventional system. But it sort of compromise and somehow adjust the vertical to be softer, to be more friendly. This is the picture of the City Development Fund. And this is one of the key change, a structural change, which I think is quite important, that all the fund leading to build the city development fund. The ACCA support help build about 98 city development fund in 98 cities. And you can see the blue part. This blue part is the funding support from ACCA program. It can draw many other color, which means other contribution from community, from cities, and from other parts into this building of the City Development Fund. And this is the initial picture. Actually, in the longer term, up to now, I believe the blue proportion will be diminishing, because the resource from the many other actors are increasing. So once they have this Community Development Fund, it becomes a new financial system for the city, for the poor, and for the other to determine the kind of citywide upgrading or other development by themselves. This is the picture of the City Development Fund happened in maybe 6 countries. You can see the green part, which is the contribution from ACCA, and then the pink part, which is from the community themselves. See a lot of this proportion, but it's emerging in a big way now. And I can assure you that it's more than 100 cities. And this 100 cities that we support, we found that it's more than 2,600 saving group organized. This is the graph showing the countries and cities that developed the ACCA program in South Asia, Southeast Asia, East Asia, and the Pacific. You can see the graph up there. It shows that the contribution or support from the ACCA program is only 6% in the big project. And with this 6%, we can unlock the resource from the government and the cities. 86% come from the cities and the government. So it means that if we do it properly, getting the community into an active force, active process, we can unlock the hiding resources to be more active, to facilitate the change by the people. People can be good negotiator. People can understand what they can do for themselves. They can make better bridges with the other organization. So this is the example that we implement in the past 3-4 years, and it shows that all these things is the truth. It's the truth, and it's possible. Yeah. So again, in the last picture, I want to say that we should look into this people-driven approach. The people have changed today. The world have changed. Community people also change. And we should look to the people as a solution. They are not passive recipients. They are not just an active force to listen to somebody solutions all the time. People are now want to change, and they can be very active. They can be very creative. We have to get that energy and that scale into the active force of change. And we share with you today two very important experience that we have been involved. It's the experience from the doer. It's not from theoretical people to tell you the theory of people, the theory of participation. It proved that this is real, this is true, and this is something go with the changing world, changing society. I do hope that from this experience, you will see the poor people in a new way and take the people into the force of change, active force of change in a big way, and solve the problem together with us, citywide, nationwide, region-wide, yeah, and bring the force of the people into the force of change together with us. Thank you very much. I'm very sorry that I don't have a lot of time, so I have to go so quickly. And hope that this very brief presentation could share you and give you an idea, key idea of the thing that I have been working more than 30 years, of a lifetime working, but to present to you in half an hour. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Somsook, for a very
from now on, we
powerful and inspiring presentation. Before we open for question and answers, we have a special guest, Judy Baker. Judy is a lead economist at the World Bank East Asia Urban Infrastructure Unit, and we'd like to invite her to make some comments, and then we are going to open for discussion. We're also going to make available the PowerPoint presentation to the participants so they can review while we have the discussions. So please, Judy, could you share with us your comments?
Thank you, Andre. First of all, I just want to thank Somsook for really a very rich and informative presentation. You packed a lot in a short amount of time. This program is so important, and I had known about the work in Thailand, but I was not aware of how far it has spread across Asia. It's now in so many countries and so many communities, and I think it just is representative of how important it is. I just had a couple of questions around that, or thoughts. Again, this is really, I think, such an important program. The first is about really the time frame. How long does the program require involvement, and how do you ensure, this is something that we've faced a lot in some of our programs with the World Bank, how do you ensure a sustained commitment with champions on the ground over time. I understand that if this is their own community, of course they have an important stake, but you know, people have other responsibilities. I would think that this is a long process, and so I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. A second point really is, I think, on the political economy issues. In cities, the biggest challenge with any kind of upgrading program is always around land and tenure security. Land is so limited and scarce in cities, and so everybody has an important stake in it, and governments are not always so keen to give up control on land, or the private sector for that matter. So how has that been tackled generally, and maybe a few specific examples, both good and bad? I'd love to hear more about that. I had really just two more points. One was the role of the private sector, if you had had any experience with that in some of the programs, and would love to hear a little bit more about what role they played. Was there interest? How did you work with them? You know, how did communities work with them? Because I think, again, this is an area where there's a lot of potential for investing in slum upgrading through private sector partners, but I think, again, it's something that's somewhat underdeveloped. And then finally, just wanted to hear, and maybe it is the land issue, but just wanted to hear from you, what is the biggest challenge going forward with this program in continuing to scale up all the impressive work that you've done? And again, just wanted to thank you for a great presentation. Back to you, Andre.
Hello. Andre? Hello?
Yes, Somsook, back
Yes.
to you to comment quickly, and then we are already receiving questions from the participants. Thank you, Judy.
Okay, I answer a few points. Okay. I think the question on how long the time frame. Once we understand the process, the time frame is not very much a problem. The key point is that we have to do it citywide. You know, when we do many of the upgrading project or housing development project, we always start the project by project, very scattered, very fragmented, and then it depends on the doer to maintain the momentum, or like the mother to take care of your baby in a very scattered manner. Yeah, you have to give them the meal, you have to give them the food. They keep on crying, and you know. But if we do it as a citywide, it means we try to develop the slum upgrading as a system. This is number one. So if we have the survey, we get all the community to get involved as many as possible. We get the city development, we get the other development actor, and trying to build this platform to see how this platform would address all these problems. And if they have the fund, yeah, to start up the things easily, quickly, then the platform to start the development, allow the development to happen. And because it's a platform, so it's a kind of a local partnership, it's a local system, it's a local collaboration, and it's like we help build the system for the local authority and the community at that local system together. And this is sustained because it's a part of the new system. So it's not only make upgrading, but we use upgrading to build these linkages. Use upgrading to make the survey, use upgrading to build the network, build upgrading to link the network with the city. and to see how the funding system are operating. It's like using the upgrading as a kind of the active stimulator, because the poor see the upgrading as something very important, so they are very passionate, they're very enthusiastic to be a part of the process. And I don't know, I may not tell you really precisely, but this is the answer, how to make it sustain, because it's not project approach, it's a city approach. Yeah. The land system is the same answer, because we are not asking the government organization to give land, this and that, and I think we get stuck with that. Yeah. If you are under one ministry, you cannot ask another ministry to give the land that they are not using, because they always say they use for something. Yeah? And it's a long steps if they're going to give you. So I think we should give up with that. Yeah. What we develop in these two experience is the citywide land expropriation, land acquisition by the people. Yeah. So you start surveying all the possible land, and you negotiate with all these landlords, either the government land, the private landlord, and so on. If you try to negotiate with the landlord and then they say no, so you try to talk to their mother. You go as a team, you get into the politician, try to get the politician to talk to them, you know. You bring the issue into the local negotiation process. In 10 plot, you will get 2 or 3 plot. And if you can start in that 2 or 3 project, then you have a way to go, because suddenly all the key actor and the others see that this is a serious development project. So I just want to say that land expropriation is very good if we do it by the people on the ground. Yeah. And of course, we're not giving up the system that we ask the government organization also. That I think that we should not give too much trust on that upper system. We should pay more attention at the citywide land acquisition between the city and the people together. The private sector can be a part of the citywide process. You have a lot of good private sector, which can be constructor, which can be real estate developer, which can be a landlord, which can be a bank. We have broader kind of private sector possibility to be involved in the citywide. Of course, it can be going beyond a city level, but I think that the fundamental city process is an important base to get many other involvement. Yeah. So that's some answer.
Thank you so much, Somsook. And I think that this point that Judy raised and you explain really help us to understand how things happen on the ground. And let us now open for discussions. We have already several questions coming in. You can see it. If you could go and answer them. We have about 10-15 minutes left.
Should we go to the question, or we go open question, or the prepare for questions?
The open question.
Or the open questions.
Questions that the participants are sending.
Okay. Okay. No, I need to know the question. It's too long. What help or hindrance do you find in the legislative and regulatory framework in various countries? Well, this is the question by whom? By Matthew Grasser. Well, you see, in the upgrading process, we always have to go from the regulation down to the poor people, to the informal sectors. What are the policy? What are the regulation? What are the laws? What are the possibility from the formal side? And then when we go to the poor, we found that we cannot go to any community because they are all illegal. If they want to do anything, it's always illegal. In the citywide process approach, we need to start from the people, yeah, wherever they live, and what are the possible solutions. And in the participatory planning, we can put what are the good standard, what are the possible way to live, and what are the possible way which is a regulation of the cities, and what could be a compromise. Anyway, many of the cases I found is that people cannot go according to the standard of the city or the country because it's too high. If you have to go up to that high standard, it means that the cost of the housing will be too high for the poor to afford. So we have to negotiate with the city that instead of they have to build a house in the plot of 60 square meter, would it be possible for 50 square meter or 40 square meter, and you show them a proper house, yeah, something like that. That is a more negotiable kind of standard, and it's much better than flats, yeah. If you go to the apartment today, the flats, it's only something like 22 square meter, very small, but flat is legitimate, it's legal. Although the unit of living is very small, very unhealthy. You go into this kind of on-ground housing, although the plot is small, but you make it 2-story. In most of the cases I found, the floor area is about 40-50 square meter. So it's really very good and very healthy. Yeah. Which name is that? Dippy Hinkolani, yeah, Hinkolani, have a point that what have been the major challenge faced at the beginning for this project take off. Oh yes, the biggest challenge is that our development people are not understanding. Every time we do the community driven approach, we have the development agent who always do it in the conventional manner. We train them, we make to clear rules, regulations, steps, and how everybody should behave, how everybody should do things and so on. So in our case in Thailand, we try to minimize that. We just go to the people right away and meet with the community, and actually we start with 10 projects, but when we go citywide, we try the citywide survey and invite this big number of communities, and little by little you play with the communities, and in the network process they may divide into different task force, the task force on saving, the task force on land negotiation, the task force on land survey, the task force on other kinds of development like welfare and the task force on community builder. You divide into different task force, and you get the good community people who have experience in the different task force. So they work across the city, across the different communities with the city. Always good to have the city to be with them. So little by little you learn how to find a new way of working. Yeah. So I think that the key issue is to try to understand how the people way of doing things are working. This is one. The second one could be the finance system, because many of our people believe that poor people cannot save because they are very poor. So how can they save? What I'm trying to convince is that saving is an important thing. Saving is a way in which the poor are becoming financially active, and the finance system of the household of the family are able to link with the system of the community. Once the system of the community finance is built or organized, then you are acting like a bank. Once you acting like a bank, you can get a loan, you can start pooling resource and determine your own development. So community saving and fund is one very important process. Yeah, we have a fewer problem with the participatory planning because I myself probably an architect, so I try to make a bridge to some of this a little bit. Yeah, but it's also important in some country we may not have that. Toyoko, yeah. Now is the question from Toyoko asking the quality of construction done by community. They are not trained, so we always worry how the poor will do the construction. In fact, you would know that many construction workers are all come from the slum, one way or the other. They live in the communities, so you have a lot of construction workers anyway. But once they link together as a community process, the group of construction workers always link together. You know, the one who have more skill always organize the other. And in some of the case, they're not doing all the complicated things. In many communities, they may ask the contractor outside to do certain part like piling. Yeah. Especially if it's a little too complicated, the structural part, they get the people from the professional to do it, and they take the lighter part. Yeah. But many of the community construction, we have the engineer. You have the city authority who can lend you the engineer to help check what happens and so on. So it's not it's no big deal. And I found that many community using the housing construction or the infrastructure construction to train their people. Many community after the housing construction process, they have a lot of skilled workers, and they organize themselves as a construction company, contractor, to get the work from outside or to build the construction in other upgrading communities. That's also possible. Yeah. So we have to look at every task as opportunity. This is the point. They don't know how to construct, then know how to construct. You don't know how to do a survey, then do the survey. You don't know how to negotiate, then do the negotiate. You know, with all these kind of many elements in the process, people are now more well-rounded and have a lot of experience. And they have organization, they have network. So you have the assistant from the network, and you have the partnership with the city. So you have many layers to assist each other in the process. We have to build this up. Another question from Toyoko is that which cities you work in Mongolia? We have 12 cities in Mongolia. Yeah, start from Ulaanbaatar. Yeah, internet. Sorry, the name of the city in Mongolia is so difficult to pronounce. If you send the email, we will give you all the name. But we have 12 cities in Mongolia. Yeah. I cannot remember, and if I pronounce, you may not remember that this is the city in Mongolia. Sorry. Then we have the question of Dow Harrison, yeah, asking how many saving would the community need to have before they can start with the program. Different households have different saving capacity. How do people manage saving to be sure that things are fair for everyone? Yeah, this is the key, definitely. This is the right point you make. That saving is the most important thing to build this fund, to build our own bank. And you set a system which is credible, which is clean, and which involve everybody. This is the task. But you can start from small to big, from something simple to something a little more complicated. I think most of the community start that way. Maybe you start with, say, 30 members, and then it go to 50 members and 100 members, and then get everybody, every household in the community to be a member. And then you link to the city. The city also have the the fund. The fund have the community organization as a member, so it become more complex and have many layers. But people can start from something simple. People ask me whether the poor can save. The poor can definitely save, and women are the key actor in the saving. Poor women in the slum community, they don't have a lot of money. So with little money, they have to take care of the children, they have to find the food, they have to pay for everything. So the skill to manage small housing for many needed expense is in all the poor women. So if we get the poor women together and start this kind of saving, they can always save. They can save a little bit, but do it regularly, and little by little, they can be a part of the system. And this link them into the development process. In our Thai situation, we say you recruit yourself by being a saving member. So slum upgrading take care of everybody, but you recruit yourself. No saving, no housing. No saving, no way that we can reach you. So saving is a very important system. Yeah. How much they save in the Thai case, they would have to save up to 10% of the total cost of the house construct. Yeah, but this can be negotiable, but it's not an individual saving. Sorry, the whole community need to have the saving up to 10% of the total investment of the housing project. So which means that some household may save up to 7% because they're very poor. But some household have a little more money, you can save up to 15%. You put together, you are more than 10%. This is okay. So it's a kind of a community responsibility.
Thank you so much.
Mark Weiss asked.
We are running out of time now. And
yeah,
we will going to receive all the questions.
I just enjoy answering questions.
Time. Yes, I think that's the most interesting part. This is why we are going to give the opportunity for all the participants to send questions and interact with you online through the Institute website. The participants are going to receive the information in 24 hours, and also this presentation is going to be available with the recording of the presentation. I would like just to highlight that for us here, and for me in particular, your experience really shows that it's possible. It's possible to have an alternative to the traditional social housing and even the traditional top-down upgrading programs. You showed that with limited resources, but a lot of energy and a strong partnership among the community, the architects, governments, private sector, you can go to scale, multiply this experience of people's driven upgrading. It's really impressive, the reach that started in Thailand, and now it's going through all Asia, and I'm sure inspiring countries across the globe. I would like to ask the participants to provide us feedback. You're going to see a small window will pop up after we close. Very quickly, a minute, you can give your opinion. That will help us a lot to improve future webinars. I would like to thank you also our team in WBI, Patricia, Brian, Xavier, and Sheila, who behind the scenes made this incredible discussion possible. Of course, I would like to thank you, Maurice, that works with you in CODI, that also helped us a lot. And thank you, Somsook. I had the privilege to meet you recently and also to see with my own eyes Slum that doesn't look as Slum anymore, but really a part of the city. And so thank you very much. Let me give you the last words so you can close this webinar. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much for all the audience to listen to this presentation. I hope what I share with you will help give you an idea how the new citywide upgrading will be possible. And if you have questions, you want us to give more information in whatever sort, you can write to ACCA, yeah, to the email or to the website. We will be very happy to share with you and to open what we are doing as a kind of open university of the new way, because we are in the new world and it should be a more democratic world for everybody, the poor or the not so poor. And if we have this approach, I think that we can change the problem in a big way, yeah? And we will be very happy to work with you wherever you are. Thank you very much.